Good morning to you, good morning to you. We're all in our places with sun-shining faces. Oh, this is the way to have a good day. Hello, my sweet, wonderful students. Welcome to another week of music class. I'm so happy to be with you. We have another jam-packed class. We are going to look at some more 16th note rhythms. We are going to learn a kind of Mother's Day-ish song. And we're going to continue on with our composer of the month and our listening. So, let's get started. Let's start by singing through all of our scales. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. La, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la. La, ti, do, re, mi, fa, si, la, si, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la. La, ti, do, re, mi, fi, si, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la. Wonderful job, my friends. I want to keep on encouraging you to try extra hard on those scales. I know that it's kind of the same every single week, and it's not as fun when there's not stickers for guessing how the scale goes and friends to sing it with, but they're really, really important, and they're really, really good for you as a musician. They're good for your voice, they're good for your ears. You're learning so much from singing those scales. Good. Okay, so let's move on to our rhythm. I am going to put the rhythm chart with all the note values up in the next slide for a few seconds. Feel free to pause it if you need to take another look at it, and then we'll go on with our rhythm for this week. All right, so here is our rhythm for this week. We are in 4/4. Say it with me. 4 beats per measure. Quarter note gets the beat. And I wrote the counts in a little bit differently this week because we're getting some harder rhythms and I wanted to give you guys a little bit more to hang on to. So every first beat is written in red. Every second beat is written in green, every third beat is written in blue, and every fourth beat is written in purple. This way you can feel and watch the beats change as you go along. So I hope that's helpful. All right, so let's look at some of the different ways you're going to see the 16th note, our new rhythm, in this rhythm. So the first way we see our 16th notes in this rhythm is in that second measure on the second beat. We have 4 16th notes in a row. So that means that we have enough 16th notes to fill the entire beat. So the whole second beat is 16th notes. 2, E, and A. Try that with me. 2, E, and A. Perfect. The next way we see our 16th notes are in our third measure in the second beat. But this time we see an 8th note followed by 2 16th notes. So that's what we need to take up a whole beat. 1 8th note, 2 16th notes. So this time we're going to go 2 and A. Can you do that with me? 2 and A. There we go. Perfect. And then right in that same measure on the fourth beat, we get the third and last way we see our 16th note in this rhythm. We have 2 16th notes followed by 1 8th note. So the same component parts as the rhythm we just did, but in a different order. And this one is going to go 4E and. Try it with me. 4E and. Good, perfect. So those are all the different ways you might see a 16th note in this rhythm. Let's get to clapping through the entire thing. Okay, the moment has come, the whole rhythm. So let's start at the beginning. A very good place to start. I'll clap it, you repeat it. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. 1, 2E and a 3, rest. 1, 2 and a 3, 4E and. 1E and a 2, 3, rest. Good, and because this rhythm's a little trickier than some of the ones we've done before, there's some new concepts, I want to clap just that top line. And then we'll put the second line through, try the whole second line all together, and then we'll try the whole thing. But for now, let's try clapping that whole line together, okay? 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2E and a 3, rest. 1, 2 and a 3, 4E and 1E and a 2, 3, rest. Good. Okay, so here is the beginning of our second line. I will clap it, you repeat it. Rest. 2E and a rest, 4E and a. 1, 2, 3E and rest. 1E and a 2, rest, 4. 1E and a 2 and a 3, 4. That's the whole thing. All right, so let's try that second line all together. Ready? I'm going to start out here just to remind myself that we're starting with a rest. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. 2E and a rest. 4E and a 1, 2, 3E and rest. 1E and a 2, rest, 4. 1E and a 2 and a 3, 4. Excellent. Now we're ready to put the whole thing together. I've said this about other rhythms before, but I think it's true here too. Even though we have kind of new tricky rhythms, I think the actual hardest part is remembering to put in those rests or some of those longer notes. Because your brain, especially when we get 16th notes, wants to just keep on keeping on that rhythm. But it takes a lot of energy and thought to remember the rests or the half notes or the quarter notes. So keep that in mind. Try to think ahead, try to look ahead while we're doing our rhythm. Okay? Let's put it all together. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2E and a 3, rest. 1, 2, and a 3, 4E and 1E and a 2, 3, rest, rest. 2E and a rest. 4E and a 1, 2, 3E and rest. 1E and a 2, rest, 4. 1E and a 2 and a 3, 4. Very nice job. Okay, if you are feeling confident, I want us to try it one more time quicker. If you are not feeling as confident, I want you to use this time to try clapping it through at just that same tempo one more time. Either way, you're challenging yourself, okay? 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2E and a 3, rest. 1, 2 and a 3, 4E and 1E and a 2, 3, rest, rest, 2E and a rest, 4E and a 1, 2, 3E and rest, 1E and a 2, rest, 4, 1E and a 2 and a 3, 4. Pretty good. I think I lied. I think I want to do it one more time, even faster, if you're feeling confident. Maybe I'm crazy, but we're going to do it anyway, okay? 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2E and a 3, rest. 1, 2, and a 3, 4E and 1E and a 2, 3, rest, rest. 2E and a rest. 4E and a 1, 2, 3E and rest. 1E and a 2, rest. 4. 1E and a 2 and a 3, 4. Very nice. If you're a speed demon like me, I love trying these rhythms quickly. You are always welcome to pause it here and see how quickly you can actually do it by yourself. But I think that is perfectly respectable for us as a class. Whatever tempo you manage to do it at, please give yourself a pat on the back. This is super new still. It's super advanced. I'm really, really proud of all of you. Now it's time for our song for this week, and this is one of my favorite songs ever. This past weekend was Mother's Day, this past Sunday to be specific. I hope you all got a chance to celebrate your wonderful mothers and mother figures in your life. This song is called Where You Lead, and it might not be what you think of as the traditional Mother's Day song, but it always makes me think about how I feel about my mom and the other people that I love in my life. And it's also from a very famous TV show about a mother and daughter that I used to watch when I was a kid. It was called Gilmore Girls. So today we're going to be learning a song called Where You Lead. I also forgot to mention that this piece is by a very famous singer of a generation or two back named Carole King. Okay, let's get started. I will sing you a line and you sing it back to me. If you're out on the road, feeling lonely and so cold, all you have to do is call my name, and I'll be there on the next train. Very good. Let's try just those 4 lines together, okay? 1, 2, ready, go. If you're out on the road, feeling lonely and so cold, all you have to do is call my name, and I'll be there on the next train. Good. Okay, so here's our chorus. We're going to sing it twice. It's going to be slightly different both times. It's going to have a little slightly different melody. So we'll go through it twice. Where you lead, I will follow. Anywhere that you tell me to. If you need me to be with you, I will follow, oh, oh, oh. Nice. I think that's the most fun part of the song. I will follow, oh, oh, oh. And it leads right into our next chorus. So we'll go, I will follow, oh, oh, oh. Where you lead, I will follow. Anywhere that you tell me to. If you need me to be with you. I will follow where you lead. Nice, you guys. All right, so let's take those two choruses together, and then I think we'll be ready to put the whole thing together with our piano, okay? So just the two choruses. 1, 2, ready, go. Where you lead, I will follow. Anywhere that you tell me to. If you need me to be with you, I will follow. Oh, oh, oh. Where you lead, I will follow. Anywhere that you tell me to. If you need me to be with you, I will follow where you lead. Nice, you guys. Okay, I think it's time for us to put it all together with our piano. So this is your opportunity to really sing your hearts out, jam out. It's a fun song. Okay. 1, 2, ready, go. If you're out on the road, feeling lonely and so cold, all you have to do is call my name, and I'll be there on the next train. Where you lead, I will follow. Anywhere that you tell me to. If you need me to be with you, I will follow. Oh, oh, oh. Where you lead, I will follow. Anywhere that you tell me to. If you need me to be with you, I will follow where you lead. Bravo, you guys. Nice job. All right, my friends, it feels like I blinked and the sun set around me. So we've lost a little bit of daylight. The film's a little darker. Didn't want you to be shocked, but it is time for one of my favorite times. It is time for our Composer of the Month. Our composer this month has been Gustav Holst. He was born in 1874. He died in 1934. We are considering him a modern era composer because of when all of his most famous compositions were written. And as a young child, he played piano and violin, but then he started suffering from an illness called neuritis, and he had to move to the trombone. So someone who has neuritis often says that they don't have function or control or feeling in one of their hands or their feet. For Holst, it was one of his hands, and he often said he described it as a jelly that was charged with electricity instead of a hand. So he had been playing piano and violin, and both of those instruments require a lot of handwork, right? With the violin, you're pressing down to make the right notes with the strings. Piano, you're moving all up and down with your fingers. So those instruments started to become too difficult for him to play. There were a lot of other health issues that Holst suffered from. He also had quite bad asthma, and they actually recommended that he play trombone to try and cure that asthma, relieve it in some way. I don't know if it worked, but it led him to the trombone, which he became very skillful in. In addition to that, he also had very bad eyesight, and nobody knew that he needed glasses, so he suffered with that for a few years. There were a lot of roadblocks for Holst, but he persevered. So let's look at our Planet Suite. Okay, so this is our second week on the Planet Suite. Last week we listened to Mars, the bringer of war, and Venus, the bringer of peace. And today we're going to be listening to Mercury and Jupiter, two really, really fun ones. So Gustav Holst gave every different planet a different personality in this, based off of what they look like, how different cultures thought of the planets throughout history, and how he felt about those different planets. So it's really interesting to see how the piece changes with every different movement. I want to remind you guys how ginormous, huge this orchestra is. We have 4 times the amount of woodwinds that we'd usually have in a symphony orchestra. We also have 6 horns, a huge percussion section, and the addition of some extra instruments you don't always hear, such as the organ, or the celesta, or the glockenspiel. So you can totally tell when you're listening to it that it's just bigger in size than some of the other pieces that we've listened to. All right, let's get started with Mercury. So, Mercury in this piece is called the Winged Messenger. Mercury is the one who's flitting about telling news to all the other planets. And the reason for that is probably because Mercury is the planet that is closest to the sun. And so Mercury orbits around the sun more quickly than any other planet. So Holst often referred to Mercury, this piece, as the brain of the piece. Or if he was going to assign body parts to each different planet, he would put Mercury as the head, because it sounds like a bunch of different thoughts happening, kind of, ooh, I'm thinking about this over here, I'm thinking about this. It kind of sounds like being scatterbrained. It's really cool, and it's quite complex what's happening within the piece. So we have different instruments that are playing in different key signatures. If you have private music lessons outside of school, key signatures might be a familiar term to you. If not, think about it as us singing one of our scales, but starting on different notes. So, for example, if I have a major scale here, and a major scale here, what if I put them together and played them at the same time? Let's take a listen. Ooh, sounds a little different, right? It's kind of cool though. It definitely sounds like 2 different things are happening in your brain at one time though. And so he's playing around with those different sounds throughout this piece. This piece also has instruments playing in different time signatures throughout the piece and also at the same time. So he's not only switching from like 6/8 to 3/4 to 2/4, he's also having instruments play in different time signatures at the same time. So maybe the flutes are in 3/4 and the cellos are in 2/4. I'll show you what I mean over in the next slide. So here we have a piece of the score, an excerpt, and each of these different clefs represents a different part of the orchestra. So in our top two clefs, we have 2/4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And in our bottom clefs, we have 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What this does is it gives us a lot of strong beats where we're not expecting it, and it kind of confuses the ear, but in a fun way. It makes it feel like a lot of things are happening at once, just like there might be in your brain on a crazy day. So make sure you're watching and listening for this as we go through the piece. There's one more rhythm I want to take a look at with you that we see throughout this piece in a bunch of different instruments. It looks like this. Okay, so this little 3-measure rhythm and melody is passed between almost every single instrument in the whole orchestra. So you might hear it in the flutes, and then it'll go to the cellos, but almost every single instrument plays it. And you'll be able to hear it and see it throughout the piece. So let's take a look at it so you can be able to recognize it. We are in a time signature called 6/8 at this point in the piece. So that might be a new one for some of us. It means 6 beats per measure, 8th note gets the beat. Can you try saying that with me? 6 beats per measure, 8th note gets the beat. So what that means is a quarter note is going to be 2 beats long, and an 8th note is going to be 1 beat long. So if that's really, really confusing to you, I also made every single beat that we're going to clap green on the screen. So let's try it. I'll clap one of the measures and then you'll clap it back to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good, and that's all there is to it. Let's try it all together, okay? 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. So then there's our melody. Let's try that. So, so, la. So, fa, mi, fa, so, fa. Mi, do, re. Good. So all together it'll sound like so, so, la, so, fa, mi, do, re. Can you sing that with me? 1, 2, ready, go. So, so, la, so, fa, mi, do, re. Nice! So you'll be able to hear that throughout the piece, and you'll also be able to watch it on the screen with our score. All right, without further ado, here is Mercury. All right, you guys are doing so good. We have one more piece to listen to, and it's Jupiter, the bringer of jollity. That means happiness. So, this is a much simpler piece than Mercury in a lot of ways. It's got the same time signature the whole time. It doesn't have any instruments that are playing in different key signatures. It also is most people's favorite piece from the whole Planet Suite. It is the most popular piece, the most famous. You hear it the most often. It's got a lot going for it. It's really, really fun. So let's talk about Jupiter as a planet, just for 1 second. So every single planet is moving around the sun, but they are also spinning around themselves, like that, as it's moving around the sun. So Mercury has the fastest move around the sun, but Jupiter has the fastest move around itself. It's doing this the most quickly. So it makes sense that Jupiter has a 2/4 time signature. 2 beats per measure, quarter note gets the beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's moving quite quickly, and you're getting another strong beat really, really quickly. This piece also has a lot of syncopated rhythms. We talked about syncopation a lot when we were talking about Scott Joplin back in February. That's that feeling where the rhythm is off the beat a little bit. Bum 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 bum. That feeling. If you're watching the score, any place you see an eighth note, a single eighth note, followed by a quarter note and another eighth note, that's a syncopated rhythm. So keep an eye out for that. Other than that, it's very royal, very joyful, exuberant. It's just quite grand in every sense of the term. So let's take a listen to Jupiter. Alright, my friends, we did it. We made it through. That piece always puts such a big smile on my face. I love it. I think it's a perfect way to end our music class on a high, joyful note. So I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you are treasuring your mothers. And I can't wait to see you next week with another music class. Nothing left to do now but sing our goodbye song. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Bye-bye, butterfly. I'll see you again next time. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Bye-bye, butterfly. I'll see you again next time. I'll see you again next time. Bye.